what's up everyone? This is JJ Andy from Crypto Grinders and welcome to CJ Market Watch Live in Bali. And we are still right now in Bali. We have just ended our X blockchain convention. Very happy with the outcome, very happy with the projects that we've seen there. And I'm just bringing to you some quick updates from the event as well. And of course, I'm going to cover certain charts as well, and definitely about certain news. Okay, so let's talk about the market first. On CoinMarketCap, right, we have 52.4% dominance that we have mentioned. Previously we are at about 52.3, so the dominance really didn't change much. So it kind of implied to you that the market is still pretty still, it's still pretty quiet. People are still kind of holding on more to their BTC rather than going into alts. And it can be kind of seen from how the market is behaving, right? Mostly red as compared to green. Well, of course, there's going to be exceptions where, you know, certain tokens like Eternity, and you can see how these two particular tokens kind of, you know, diverge in a direction in that sense. Like BCM was also kind of, Bitcoin was also kind of unlisted or delisted from Binance, right? So that was on the news. 4 tokens mainly were delisted from Binance, and that actually can kind of have an impact. And so that's the interesting part. Alright, so covering quick news, this just came out. It says Singapore Central Bank will aid crypto startups in opening bank accounts. And I think it came in a timely manner where Ravi Menon, the chief of Singapore de facto central bank and regulator, has backed domestic cryptocurrency startup and exchanges to gain banking services in a technology forward city state. Now, personally, CG ourselves, we are mostly Singaporeans. We're from Singapore, we're based in Singapore, and we definitely will welcome this particular news, right? And I think it really sets the stage for Singapore to be the future crypto space, right? Crypto fintech hub in that sense. And we're really proud of that, and we are just glad that, you know, MAS or Singapore Central Bank is backing it, and it's kind of helping us, or you know, the future cryptocurrency companies or startups to actually be able to start a bank account in Singapore, and therefore pushing it forward for us, you know, setting a stage for us. I think that's great news. Now, the other news I just want to quickly mention on CCN is that Bitcoin's volume improves, right? So is crypto market really primed for a major short-term rally? Now, I've mentioned a few times before over the course of say the last 2 weeks that, you know, BTC has been forming this very strong symmetrical triangle. You can call it ascending triangle. It's just a very strong triangle in a sense, right? And we haven't really broke out from it. And what we have done so far in terms of BTC prices is to just kind of move up and down. But there isn't significant movement so far. Now, if you talk about just what happened yesterday, while I was still in Bali, I was talking to Ryan, and we were saying, hey, you know, the market just went up to, you know, 6,680 or so. And today we are back down $100 down to 6,593 levels again. So what's new, right, in the market? One day it pumps, next day it goes down again, and so this is how brutal, or how, I shouldn't say volatile, but how flat the market can be. And that is only suppression, or could that really be stagnation? Personally, I'm seeing it now as as more like a suppression, right? Prices are being pushed down heavily, therefore poised for the next upward trend, right, or upward movement. So as you can see from BTC movement, in fact, on say, okay, so this is a 1 hour chart. Let me get to the 4 hour chart. Yeah, so on a 4 hour chart here, you can still see a very strong triangle, kind of like a symmetrical triangle formation here going on, and it has proven a few points in terms of diagonal resistance and diagonal support in that sense. And what we can see here is that we should be breaking out the triangle quite soon, right? I don't know how, but you know, just looking at BTC alone, you can see that the volume is picking up. So that actually kind of shows you, based on OBV, that we are slightly poised to kind of have a short-term rally potentially. Now, looking at a day chart, where however, we still see volume kind of trickling downwards slightly. We still see that BTC is trading below the cloud. It's not a very great direction, but honestly, you still see a kind of a symmetrical triangle formation. So hopefully it breaks out, hopefully it moves out in a certain direction strong. And of course, we have to kind of break out of $7,400 level, the previous high, to kind of signify that we are in a new kind of bullish rally or a trend. Alright, and so that's what I'm really looking at. BTC can't really go anywhere unless we kind of break out above the 7374 range between the previous high and the EMA 200 in order for more movement to come. Of course, we are heavily supported at $6,569 and $6,600. And of course, we are also at 6,741, which is the resistance level. Now, in terms of Ethereum wise, we are looking at symmetrical triangle here. We are still hovering at a cloud level. It's still forming a symmetrical triangle. Once again, volume is still very low as compared to BTC. We don't see much movement coming in and out of Ethereum. So if you talk about suppression when it comes to Ethereum's price, there's also another article on CCN that mentioned that Ethereum's price has been suppressed so much so that it kind of implied that the next rally would affect Ethereum more. Now, my personal point of view is that once BTC market does recover, once crypto market does recover, we will see how the ICO starts coming back again. And therefore, smart contract platforms like Ethereum, where a lot of projects are built on Ethereum, will benefit. Alright, so that's the good thing. Now, when it comes to Litecoin, of course, Litecoin shows kind of not exactly like a symmetrical triangle. It shows more of like a descending triangle, or like a descending triangle. So we kind of can see that the trend could potentially go down slightly, right? More. However, the good point about Litecoin, as mentioned before, is that in terms of OBV or volume, it's still performing better than Ethereum. However, it's just trading below the cloud. So we kind of really need to see where it's going. Like I say, mid of this month, most likely Gemini will be listing Litecoin. So let's see what's the volume's gonna come in for Litecoin. Alright. Personally, I still feel that having some Ethereum would be okay because it's now trading above the cloud. Having some Litecoin, less of Litecoin as compared to Ethereum, because for now BTC is still the best to hold, then Ethereum, then Litecoin for now. Now, the other thing that I just want to briefly mention, we had done some. We are one of the main media partners for X blockchain event that it just ended today, and it's co-organized by Pundi X project. And so Pundi X project actually mentioned a few things at the particular event itself, and we covered it. So what happened was they actually unleashed or unveiled the new path to decentralization, which is Function X. Not only did they reveal about Function X, they also talk about a new phone that's called the X phone that has two particular modes, which is the blockchain mode and also the traditional mode. So it allows you to use applications at the same time. You can use blockchain to make calls, to send messages, and it's just it's just very mind-blowing in that sense. Like you can read up more on this article by the team itself, Pundi X writers, and it's really cool. They actually make a first blockchain call at the event itself, right? And they called someone within the audience, just to test it out. And it's really cool. It's decentralized, and almost all the XPOS nodes, XPOS that they have distributed, will now kind of form the nodes to support the network itself. So it's really cool. So you could take a look and you can read it. Alright, but most importantly, you need to understand it's not really all about just the hardware. The phone is just a phone. It's just the hardware to host or to house the software. The software is the main thing that allows dApps to build on it. It's run on JavaScript, so it allows different kind of apps, to be run on the software itself. So you can read up more on it. Now that actually kind of propelled MPXS price to move up. And I know certain groups are talking about MPXX now. We have kind of been in talks with the team sometimes, occasionally, and we have covered them in terms of media coverage since about 10 to 12 months ago. We've known the team for quite a while, and so we have seen how the movement actually went up by say at least about 13% or 15% on Binance, right? So this is kind of like the impact of the news on the market. Now, of course, when we kind of zoom out on a time frame, this is on a 1 hour time frame. So when you kind of zoom it out, you kind of realize that, hey, the rise isn't very significant just yet, alright? But I guess this is kind of like a good thing happening in MPXS. I'm very excited for them. I'm happy for them. But what we can see is that RSI for MPXS/Ethereum is reaching an oversold level. So therefore, we may see some dip coming forward unless volume continues to pick up for them. If not, we will see some correction happening for MPXS, alright, or perhaps some taking profit. But I think it's it's a wise move to do, and I'm happy for the project. Alright. So to summarize, are we poised for a short-term rally? I am personally looking at a potential short-term rally. I'm really looking at it surpassing the cloud, like I mentioned about a few days back. That based on the daily chart, we are about let's say today is on the 10. We are about 10 to 11 days away from the thinning of the cloud, and generally the thinning of the cloud would signify the breakthrough of it, and therefore we may head up perhaps next week or the week after. But guys, do have some patience in the market. The market is a bit slow, but just understand that BTC has been beaten down so much so that it has been suppressed so heavily that the pressure will build up, and therefore the pump will come eventually. We don't know when, we don't know yet, but hey, you know, BTC is the king. If you're looking at long-term investment, it's always wise to have some money invested in BTC. But this is not financial advice. Just a disclaimer: we are not doing financial advice. But you know, do your due diligence and believe, do your own research as well. All right. So that's all for the time I have with you guys. I'll see you on Friday. And I'm gonna dip myself in the pool. See you guys.